Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to our new building, our first Sunday here, Faith Baptist Church. We're so excited. Come on in, take a tour with us. Well, we've moved inside, boys and girls. To my left is the auditorium, and to my right is the bookstore. You should come on in and check out what we have inside the bookstore. Here's our Faithful Sayings bookstore. All the stuff you could want, lots of fun stuff for kids. Come check it out. And here we are at the Welcome Center. Make sure you boys and girls stop and pick up your sermon notes so you can pay attention while Pastor preaches. All right, we made it to the nursery, boys and girls. This is the place where all of the little babies in the nursery and those who are normally in the wee walkers get to enjoy their church time, just like Peter's enjoying this rocking horse here. We made it to KidZone, right up on second floor, corridor A. We have some new classrooms set up, boys and girls. Looking forward for you finding that new spot where you'll have your Sunday school classes. Same teachers, but different classrooms. And we finally made it to our final destination this morning, boys and girls. We made it to Peter's Den, our new home, our new place to record. We are super excited to be here. Well, since we've gone on our tour, I have to talk Peter's tired already. I have to talk fast to get our Bible lesson in, because excited as we are about this new building, boys and girls, it's because of God that we have this building, and it's most important that we teach you about God's Word and what God has done for us. Well, in Genesis 45, verse 25, it says, "And they went up out of Egypt." Oh, who's the they? Who are we talking about? Do you remember Peter? We're talking about Joseph's brothers. Joseph had revealed himself to them, so now they were going home to see their dad. That's right, you counted all his brothers. Good job, Peter. And they went up out of Egypt and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. He didn't believe them, boys and girls. He had spent so many years believing that Joseph was dead, he couldn't believe them. Verse 27, "And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived." It took him seeing everything that they had sent back, everything that Joseph had sent, for him to believe that Joseph was still alive. And Israel said, "It is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die." So they're going to travel to Egypt. Well, it's going to take a lot to travel and bring their whole family. The Bible tells us there was over 60 people who were traveling. There were 66 of them who were traveling back to Egypt to meet Joseph, to greet him. So it was going to take some time. They stopped in the land of Beersheba. They stopped there, and God came to Jacob in a dream, and he basically told him this is okay. Jacob was a little nervous about moving into Egypt, the land of the Egyptians, and God came to him and he said, "No, this is okay. This is what I have for you. I will bless you abundantly if you go up to Egypt." So Jacob knew it was okay. Well, he gets there. Boys and girls, let me rewind just a tad bit. When Joseph's brothers came home to tell their dad that Joseph was still alive, what do you think they were thinking? They had lied to their dad for years. They had been telling their dad a lie. And now they have to tell him the truth. Do you know, boys and girls, the Bible tells us our sin will find us out. God will make our lies known. God will have the truth shine forth. And they had to admit what they had done. They had to tell their dad what they had done and admit it. But you know, boys and girls, telling the truth is always better than telling a lie. And that's what Joseph's brothers learned. Although they had to admit their lie, to see their father happy again, to see their family blessed, it was so worth it to tell the truth. Well, they traveled to see Joseph in Egypt, and they talk with Pharaoh. And the Bible records for us some of that conversation about how they're going to be shepherds and they're going to live in the land of Goshen. And it records a lot of detail for us. Well, Jacob is so excited. He hugs Joseph. He says, oh, thanks, Peter. He says, now that I've seen you, I can die. And at first, that's like a depressing thing, like, whoa. But his heart was so relieved that he had seen Joseph. The Bible tells us he lived another 17 years past that. He lived to be 147 years old. He was 130 when he made this trip. Well, he's getting near the end of his life, near the end of the 147 years, and Joseph knows that his dad's going to die. And Jacob asked them to promise that they will not bury Jacob, pinky promise, that's right. They will not bury his body in Egypt, that they will take and bury it in the land of his forefathers. So, makes them promise, and then Joseph brings his two sons. He has Manasseh and he has Ephraim. Manasseh's the older one, and then there's Ephraim. And he brings him to his dad, and the Bible even tells us like which one was on the right side and which one was on the left side, and gives a whole lot of detail. Because in their day, the oldest son typically got a bigger blessing than the younger son, the second-born son. Well, Manasseh's the oldest, and Jacob gets ready to bless them, and he starts to give the bigger blessing to Ephraim. Wait, the second-born? And Joseph's like, no, Dad, no, you got the wrong son. He's like, no, I have the right son. And Jacob went on to bless Ephraim, the youngest, over Manasseh, the oldest. Do you remember, boys and girls, out of Jacob, the one who's doing the blessing, Jacob and Esau, his brother, who was the older and who was the younger? If you remember, Jacob was the younger, and he got the greater blessing from his dad. And now this is happening to Joseph's sons. Well, he blesses them, and shortly thereafter, Jacob does pass away. And Joseph mourns the loss of his dad, and then he asks Pharaoh for some leave, some time to go and bury his father. And that wraps up kind of the life of Joseph. From there, we don't hear a whole lot more about him. I hope you boys and girls enjoyed our tour this morning as you go about this week and you think of the end of our story of Joseph. Joseph told his brothers that even though they meant it for evil, God meant it for good. Even though they had meant to hurt Joseph, God meant it for good. Boys and girls, God can turn anything into good. And he blessed them when they told the truth, not when they told a lie. Make sure this week that you tell the truth. We look forward to seeing you real